What's going on, everyone? So, I was watching the YouTubes and I noticed Victor Knives did a challenge, a one knife challenge. Dude, that's fucking awesome. I love these things. I actually just finished doing one. It was with a Bantam, the Victorinox Bantam. Have you seen it yet? It's a great knife. The reason I chose to use such a minimal knife is these one knife challenges. I think similar to you, I've really pondered the idea for a very long time. I did a video a while back about my first knife and how, agreeing with you, that they develop character over a while, the knives we carried, and that's really important. Uh, this one is my first knife. Well, the first knife that I bought. It's a pruner. I think I was always meant to be kind of like that warrior in the garden type. But this is my first knife. Bought this in the rainforest of Puerto Rico at a little grocery store. Opened coconuts, woven palm leaves. Even did my food, just whatever. A 9, 10, 11, 12. I think I've had it since I was 9. Would use a knife for. And I miss that. I truly do. I miss the idea. I've been spoiled lately. I've spoiled myself with this fascination and love of cutlery, where I just have such a vast array of things to choose from. I stand at my dresser just like all you guys and gals do. Which one do I carry today? And of course, it's always a Swiss Army knife. I never leave without a Swiss Army knife. It's not a good day without one. But I'm always struggling. Which one do I carry? So I did that Bantam challenge, and I don't regret it at all. At all. It was a pain in the ass, if we're speaking honestly, but it's so minimal. I wanted to see if maybe it was at all practical. My great-grandfather carried a small two-bladed, one of those sheet metal knives. It's like sheet metal handles folded over. He had a waxed leather coin pouch, purse. He had some coins in it, that pocket knife, and a little slip of paper inside of this wax canvas zippered leather pouch that he had made. Never met the guy. I mean, I guess when I was born, I was taken to Puerto Rico to meet him, but never met him. But I know about that pouch because my mom inherited his shit. And I remember going into that little pouch. And that's part of the reason I carry a pouch to this day. It just makes sense. And you'll see that I always shout out that Manhattan Portage Cordura fabric coin pouch. It's great. I love leather. But I just want practicality. And it seems like our granddaddy's generation is coming back. Like, the whole mindset. But this is 2.0. So there's going to be some nuance. That coin pouch is just perfect to have with a wallet, and it would fit that Victorinox Bantam oh so well, and it does. I've always looked for a coin pouch knife, and that's what that challenge was about. What was the bare minimum? Like if I just had to leave the house, forgot my knife, and I just had that in my pants still, that pouch, and I had that pocket knife. Could I manage? I think I could, but not happily. So these one knife challenges. I've been pondering that for so long. And I already came up with my answer. And I think it's a fairly consistent answer. But it's not, can I survive with just one knife, or can I just do it with one knife? Yes. Yes. But what knife? What is the ultimate one knife that anybody can just pick up? And the inspiration was of course standing on the shoulders of giants. We all grew up seeing those old timers. It wasn't just our granddad. This is people we saw on the streets. And typically they had an old timer knife, or a buck knife, or a little Swiss Army knife. Those were the ones that they carried. That was the one knife. You know, just let's use buck as an example. You always saw somebody with a buck sheath. That was their one knife. It worked. It was the one knife for a generation. So, what's our generation's knife? And of course, we'd love for it to be American made. Of course. Of course. But, realistically, with all the nuance, technology, what is the knife that a human being, not just an American, a Canadian, what's the knife? Well rounded for every person. That's the Victorinox soldier knife. I asked the question to myself, what's the perfect belt knife? And I think y'all just kind of assumed, not y'all, but like the major following of my channel, but they just assumed that I was looking for a new belt knife. Like, I guess the wording, it's more of a knife I can wear comfortably on my belt all the time that I don't really realize is there, but I always reach for it because I know it's there. Like, you understand, it's just not cumbersome. It's not something you're constantly fighting when you're getting in and out of the car, you're sitting down, it's digging into your back. Like, what's the ultimate knife? What's the ultimate knife? You have a main blade that's every bit as rugged as a buck knife. The construction with all these layers of aluminum and supplemented with the stainless steel liners, because it is a liner lock and those have to be stainless steel, reinforces this to a level that's comparable to a buck. There are people who do reviews. Now, personally, I don't need the screwdriver all the time because I'll show in a later video my hack. So, my perfect belt knife is the Forrester. I get a little extra tool that I can trade out right there in the corkscrew. Am I going to use the corkscrew? About as often as I'd use the Phillips screwdriver on the soldier knife. I use it just as often, but so not often. So I'd rather have an extra tool there to kind of work it out. I don't ever realize this is on my hip. It's a locking blade. It's got a saw blade, so when I'm out in the woods with my kids, going on hikes, if I feel like crafting in my backyard and grabbing a branch from this Himalayan tea tree, or perhaps that holly bush again, or maybe get a cut of vine of blackberries. I have a saw blade because that's my lifestyle and that's what works. I also have a very, very, very good one-handed opening blade, unlike regular Swiss Army knives. One-handed opening. And I've been in a situation where my hands have been all cut up and I can't even use my fingers to open my knife. So one-handed opening is not good. Like, it's not really that great. So what do? I mean, get yourself a lanyard. Use your teeth. You know, stick your teeth in it. It's got a screwdriver. It's got a pry bar. It's got an awl so that I can drill holes and do bushcraft stuff if I needed to. But it's just a pocket knife. Goes on my belt and I forget it. That's all I really need. I think that's all anyone really needs. It's about the same footprint as a buck. Yeah, it's about the same footprint as a buck. Really easy in and out with the draw. A polished blade that I can use to reflect as a mirror. It's great. And this kind of freedom, it took me a while to come up with this idea. I mean, this answer, I should say, not idea. Because you had the same idea. Our answers will be different. I can't go with a two-blade trapper just because I need like a pry bar and stuff like that. And I think most people do, and that's why we see so many like busted tips on knives. So it's kind of like a compromise. I like the idea of having two blades because when I go out, I like to have a main blade that I'm using for work. It's typically no shorter than 3 inches. And anything shorter than 3 inches isn't like going to be practical for like. Um, so I like the idea of having a secondary blade. Um, my logic is I'm always working. I have a knife that I use for work that I'm constantly cutting like epoxy clay with. I'm cutting into just boxes, leather, upholstery with all these chemicals, and I really don't want to start cutting up my sandwich with the same blade. I mean, just clean it, sure, but that's just an extra step. Time is money. I don't know. It's just a pain in the ass sometimes. Sometimes I'm dirty. So having a secondary blade is just for food. For a long time, I carried around my Victorinox Tinker because it has a small blade on there. That small blade is my box cutter. That was my utility blade at work. And then the main blade, I used that to cut my lunch. Because really all I needed was that little 1 inch, 1 1/4 inch blade. It worked out very well. Why do I bring this up? Because the Victorinox Forrester, as well as the Swiss Soldier knife, are single bladed. Oh, we'll find one with two. No, that one's perfect the way it is. This affords me an opportunity. I now have my one knife that I don't leave home without. Staggered between the Swiss Soldier and the Victorinox Forrester. Now I get to have fun and play. Now I can carry around things I actually like my buck 55. That's my little food prep blade. My work knife I have right here on my belt. If you need to get to work, just slip it off the belt. When it's time for food, I just pull out my little buck knife, buck 55, and cut my lunch up. I can swap that out. I can carry a Spyderco, a Benchmade, as my supplementary blade. I get to have all my toys and the security of knowing that I'm all right. So my challenge is this. My challenge. It's not a one knife challenge. It's a get the Swiss Soldier or the Victorinox Forrester knife. Consider what I've said and find a better knife that's well-rounded for the human being, not for the American, not for the European, not for the Orients, not for Central South America. No. Human being, well-rounded. And I'm not inconsiderate. I know I have a lot of followers over in the UK, even the Netherlands. You guys are awesome. So, if America was just as shitty with knife laws as it is in Europe and other parts of the world, I would still do this challenge. And I know some of you can carry those locking blades if work permits it. But if you still want to participate, then I'm just going to tell you to get one of these. This is the Victorinox Farmer X. Farmer X has a saw blade and scissors, A-locks. If I lived in a place where I couldn't carry my Swiss Soldier or my Forrester anymore, or if I decided to get a fucking day job or something, and, contraband rules, and I couldn't carry a locking blade, even though the fucking Victorinox they look like butter knives. They're so rugged, but they're not intimidating looking, and that's the best camouflage. But if I was ever in a place that didn't allow those sorts of things, this would be my one and done knife. Non-locking, but affords me the same capabilities. And what capabilities? Just making me more capable. And that's the point. Because your tool is only as good as you. If your tool breaks, if you buy a good tool and your tool breaks, it's because of you. Right? Like the tip breaks on a good knife. You shouldn't have fucking used it like that, right? You should know better. You guys work together. You and your tool. You develop a relationship. So, a better knife than the Forrester. I challenge you. because I've thought about this for years. And I put it to the test countless times, mostly with the soldier. But this is the same thing. Find me a better knife. I'm open-minded, but I'm also stubborn because I learned what I learned in the Crucible.